Thank you for joining me today on the Garbage Bag Girl podcast. This podcast is about all of us. It's about the things and the ways that make us feel pushed down and small. It is about how the smallest acts of kindness make the biggest impact each day. No one should feel like garbage, ever. Enjoy the show. Hi, this is Celeste Edmunds. I'm the Executive Director of the Christmas Box International and author of Garbage Bag Girl. Garbage Bag Girl has been my newest project, and it has really kind of opened up this cool dialogue of what life looks like for children in care. And today my guest, Alyssa Bergman, she runs operations for a company called Fairway, and I'm going to let her tell us a little bit about that company. But first I want to talk a little bit about, you have taken in children in foster care. So when I talk about the book, providing impact and insight into what they go through, you're going to be my first guest that kind of really sees that on the back end and what that looks like for them when they come into your home and some of the challenges they have. And so what has that experience been like for you and your family?
Well, I've been a foster parent for a little over 4 years now, and we've taken in 6 children on 3 separate occasions. It's been probably the most profound experience that I've ever had in my life, these different placements that we've had. And it's just been amazing. I mean, it's been hard. There's been lots of tears and a lot of stress, but it's just been the most wonderful thing I think that I've ever done.
I always think people say everything that you do for them, which is so much, but I also wonder how that impacts your family, because you have children, biological children, mm-hmm. and you're married, mm-hmm. and what that is like to bring kids into your home that your family doesn't know, and obviously the hardship is uniquely different for them than it is for your children. And how do you find that crosses over, if there is any, and what that looks like?
Yeah, so my son is 3 years old, and we, like I said, have been fostering for about 4 years. So we started before he was born. And when we got our first placement, it was really our introduction to being parents for the first time. So wow. Not just parents, but parents of children who have very specific needs in their life based off of, where they were coming from and different expectations they had about what a household looks like, and then coming into our home and us trying to just mash that together. When my son was born, we continued to foster, and it's definitely been impactful for him. It just makes me think that our siblings make us who we are, and we wouldn't be who we are without them. And I think that the children who've been in our home, he treats them as his siblings, and they treat him that way too. So
I love that. Regardless
if they're there for a short time or not, that's what it is. They're siblings, and they bicker, and they have they learn to share together, and they and they love each other, and they help each other out. And so it's just been very impactful for him, I think.
And the fact that he's, like you said, he's done it, he doesn't know another way. Mm-hmm. So I think that's beautiful that he's been given this introduction into a life that he doesn't know is any different. Like the level of acceptance he must be learning, is remarkable. So I definitely commend you for that. Having been a foster child, it's just super personal that you would do that for these kids. So thank you very much. So tell us about Fairway. What does Fairway do?
So we do mortgages. Fairway is a fairly large company. I as you mentioned, I do operations. It's for my branch specifically in Draper, Utah. I work for my branch manager, Nick Smith, and we help people get into homes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And what is it part of the company mission, or why do you guys give back to the community?
Yeah, our company has. Hopefully I'm saying right, at least 3 on a company scale, nonprofit organizations that are really, really near and dear to them. And when my boss and I chose to come on to this company, charity and giving was very important to us, both of us, for our own personal reasons. And so some of their nonprofits are just super great. They help with the American Warrior Initiative, which helps veterans get dogs who are service dogs and helps them through their daily lives, and then they help with Fairway Cares organization, which is basically something that helps employees and friends of employees and family members of employees who are going through a hard time, with care packages and things like that. And I believe that there's one other one that I can't think of at this moment, but our company as a whole, I feel like charity is very, very important to them, and so that's why we chose to be a part of Fairway.
It's interesting because, Utah is one of the most philanthropic states in the nation. We have over 10,600 nonprofits in the state. So why Christmas Box House?
For me, Christmas Box House is important because of my experience with fostering, and I believe it was through foster care that I learned more about Christmas Box House. I think that's where I learned about it, and so that's why we chose to be a part of the Project ELF this season, and as we did last year as well. And so we're always looking to give back in our immediate community and not just on a national level, which is what our company does. But we look for where the need is in our immediate community.
Well, we are just beyond grateful for Fairway. This is the second year that you've been coming to our donation center. Mm-hmm. I know you were involved with Christmas Box House before because you had kiddos come stay with you that lived there. But being here at the donation center is a little bit different. This is where we process about $800,000 a year of in-kind donations that go from we resource to our 3 shelters in Moab, Ogden, and Salt Lake. And then we have 22 resource rooms throughout the state in 14 of the 29 counties that we have in Utah. And that's because not every child needs a shelter necessarily. Sometimes there's a home they can go into immediately, but they still need items. They still need all the stuff. So all the items that you're sorting here and that, you come help get put into the bins so that we can get it properly allocated is really about that. So you've been in a shelter, one of our shelters, one of our Christmas Box houses. What did you think about it? What do you think of the Christmas Box houses in general when you go in?
I feel like it's incredibly inviting when you walk in the Salt Lake shelter. You walk in, there's a big Christmas tree, I believe, and all the animals sitting out there. And so it feels very warm and welcoming being in there. And I had the opportunity to go through it a little bit deeper because, as you mentioned, I picked up 4 children from the Christmas Box House and was able to kind of look around and meet with them there.
And they're siblings.
Siblings, uh-huh.
That's my favorite thing about the Christmas Box House is having lost my brother and sister is that we get to keep those siblings together. That's the whole purpose of being able to take children through the age of 18 is that they get to stay there together until there's a home like yours they can go into. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they would each have to go into different homes, and mm-hmm. we would have no place to be able to keep them together. So we keep about 1,000 siblings together a year between our 3 shelters. So we're pretty fortunate to be able to have that opportunity.
Absolutely.
But, well, I just want to thank you. When we have, a Christmas, now that we're 27 years strong and having served 145,000 children, we have alumni come back. We have kids that are, now adults that come back and say they want to give back. And every single time I ask them if they realize that it was complete strangers that gave them the items that they had. And they just really had no idea that there were so many people that cared. And you take children in your home and you care that way, and you come here and you donate through your company and you volunteer. So you give on every level, and I'm just very, very grateful. So thank you for being here today with us. And
thank you. I absolutely love Christmas Box House, and I just can't imagine what our community would look like without something like this. And so I love that our state's initiative is to make sure that there's never a child waiting for a foster home, only foster parents waiting for placements. And, ideally, we wouldn't need foster care at all. And obviously, that would be a utopian society. But where we're at, I think it's just great. I think there's a lot of people who really want to give back. They just don't know how or in what capacity they could. So I absolutely love Christmas Box House and everything that they've done for the community.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me today on the Garbage Bag Girl podcast. Always remember, you matter. Please subscribe and share this podcast and visit CelesteEdmunds.com to join my mailing list.